What if I told you the Hungarian Grand Prix wasn't just another race, it was a battleground? Charles Leclerc's perfect start turned into heartbreak. Ferrari's dreams crumbled. And just when you thought the drama was over, boom, a new penalty decision drops after the explosive Verstappen-Hamilton clash. And yes, Leclerc gets hit again. Buckle up, because this isn't just racing, it's pure chaos. If you're a true Formula One fan, you don't want to miss what really went down. Like, subscribe, and get ready, because we're diving into the controversy everyone's talking about. Let's break it all down. Leclerc's car began to lose pace dramatically. The lead he had worked so hard to build crumbled. In the next 30 laps, he hemorrhaged 37 seconds to Piastri, an astonishing collapse for a driver who had dominated the opening phase. What was worse was the confusion. No one seemed to know what was happening. And when confusion reigns in Formula One, frustration quickly follows. On the radio, Leclerc couldn't hide his fury. "This is so incredibly frustrating," he snapped. "We've lost all competitiveness. You just had to listen to me. I would have found a different way to manage these issues. Now it's undrivable. It'll be a miracle if we finish on the podium." His voice cracked under the weight of disappointment. This wasn't just about a bad strategy call. This was about another race slipping away for a man who has had too many of them. But once the race was over and the adrenaline faded, clarity returned. Out of the car and back in the garage, Leclerc reviewed the data and realized the truth. The failure wasn't strategic. It wasn't human error on the pit wall. It was a chassis issue, something completely out of his control. Something that had been slowly degrading his car's performance since lap 40. Speaking after the race, he admitted, "I need to take back what I said on the radio. I thought the issue was something we could have handled differently, but it turns out it came from the chassis. I started to feel it on lap 40, and it just got worse and worse. By the end, we were 2 seconds off the pace. The car was undrivable." He added bitterly, "This weekend was our one chance to win a race this year, and it's gone." But the nightmare wasn't over yet. As Leclerc limped to the finish with a broken car, he had to fend off a charging George Russell. The fight turned ugly on lap 61, when Russell made a move toward the inside of turn 1. Leclerc, desperate to hold position, swerved aggressively to defend. 1 lap later, Russell came again, this time pulling off the overtake. But the stewards were watching. They slapped Leclerc with a 5-second time penalty for his defensive maneuvers, and then, in a harsher twist, added 1 penalty point to his super license for erratic driving. The steward's statement was precise and damning. Car 63 moved to overtake car 16 on the inside. Into turn 1, car 16 moved toward car 63 on the main straight before braking, and then moved a second time under braking, nearly causing a collision. Both moves combined were deemed erratic. While there was no contact, the nature of the defending warranted penalty. It was a brutal double blow, one for defending too hard, and another for doing it while his car was falling apart beneath him. For Leclerc, the Hungarian Grand Prix had gone from dream to disaster in less than an hour. But he wasn't the only one under the microscope. Elsewhere on the track, a familiar rivalry threatened to reignite. Max Verstappen, Lewis Hamilton. Turn 4, lap 30. With fresher tires and a predator's instinct, Verstappen was closing fast on Hamilton. And then, without hesitation, he pounced, diving up the inside of turn 4 in a move that was bold, risky, and aggressive. Through the trees, it was hard to see the exact moment of the pass, but when the cars emerged, Hamilton was off the track. Verstappen had taken the position. Immediately, questions erupted. Had Max forced Lewis off the circuit? Was this a legal overtake? The stewards announced an investigation would take place. After the race, speaking before the verdict, Verstappen was dismissive of any wrongdoing. "I went for the inside. Of course, it's a fast corner, but with our downforce, you're in control. I think he realized late that I was there, so he turned out of it. He went off track. That was it. We didn't touch, nothing happened." When the stewards finally released their decision, they agreed with Verstappen. The driver of car 1 stated he gained momentum out of turn 3 using fresher tires, and used it to dive inside at turn 4. He said he was in full control and could have left more space, but chose not to once car 44 went off. The representative for car 44 confirmed no contact, and that their driver chose not to attempt to stay on track. Given these facts, no further action is warranted. But even with a clean verdict in the books, one line in the steward's statement couldn't be ignored. Despite the ambitious nature of the overtaking attempt, that single sentence said it all. It was the steward's way of saying Max Verstappen cut it close, very close, and yet, in the chaotic and controversial world of Formula One, no further action is as good as a green light. It's the equivalent of saying, "Play on," and Verstappen, as he so often does, walked away untouched. No penalty, no contact, no consequences. It's the mark of a champion who's learned to live on the edge without falling off. But step back, and the Hungarian Grand Prix starts to look like something much bigger than one race weekend. It exposed something deeper: the mounting tensions boiling just beneath the surface of the 2025 Formula One season. At the heart of it all is Ferrari, a team teetering between greatness and dysfunction. Their car flashes brilliance in one moment, only to fall apart in the next. No one feels that more than Charles Leclerc, a driver who has the skill, the fire, and the hunger, but who keeps getting let down by the machinery beneath him. His battles aren't just with rivals, they're with reliability, with miscommunication, with fate. His frustration isn't just emotional, it's embedded in the very DNA of the team right now. On the other hand, George Russell continues to evolve, race after race. He's proving himself to be one of the smartest and most strategic drivers on the grid. He doesn't force moves, he calculates them. His overtakes are clean, his timing sharp, and his awareness is that of a seasoned veteran. He's quietly building a reputation as the thinking man's racer. And Max Verstappen, he's perfected the dark art of aggressive racing. He pushes just far enough, always on the edge, never over. He knows exactly where the line is and how to dance on it. Meanwhile, the stewards face an impossible task: keeping the racing fair, safe, and thrilling all at once. In Hungary, they had to make judgment calls that divided fans and teams alike. And the debate is far from over for the fans. The Hungarian Grand Prix was an emotional roller coaster. Hopes were raised, tempers flared, controversy exploded, and in the end, very little changed in the standings, but everything shifted in terms of momentum. For Leclerc, it was heartbreak. For Russell, a moral victory. And for Verstappen, just another calculated triumph. But make no mistake, the battle lines are drawn. The second half of the season is coming fast, and it's going to be war. Like, share, and subscribe. Formula One's real drama is just getting started. Thanks for watching.